Hey, you guys, this your girl Simply Love, and I'm here with some time to help you guys out with a few things about what's going on and around you and your feelings and just, things in general that you may or may not be aware of. For those who are not aware of it, like here it is. After this brief com- After this brief commentary regarding what's going on around you guys, I am going to do a collective reading regarding the divine masculine, the divine feminine, and the karmics. I know a lot of you already know about the situations because we have a lot of light workers on YouTube warning you regarding this situation, telling you what's going on. They're being guided by their spirit guides. They're getting a lot of downloads as myself as well. I'm just kind of like sitting back and wanting to gather in everything and kind of like break it down, explain it a little bit, and then just get into it. It takes me a while to get into this dark energy. I just can't jump into the dark energy and, feel comfortable with it. I had to, do a lot of meditation, a lot of being out in nature, a lot of thought, a lot of being to myself before I can actually bring this to you. Spirit woke me up this morning like, you're ready. I had to do a lot of fasting, like just drinking water, and it just, and emptying my, just keeping my system clean in order to do this because I'm dark. This is going to be a lot of dark energy that we're exiting out of, but you have to go through it first. This is the time of truth and clarity. It's the time for change. Don't get stuck in this illusionary world about what's going on around here because it's not really real. It's a play. Okay? It's a staged event. Everything is. I want you guys to start questioning everything and don't take things for self-value. If it's not up in your face, then you know what? Say to yourself, it's not happening. I need to focus on me. I need to get my life together. And that's with all four things, your mind, body, spirit, your relationships, your family ships, your children's ships, your own ship. It all has to come together. It has to be like the universe. It has to be balance. So what's really going on behind the scenes and why they are distracting you is because they don't want you to have balance. They know if we all come together in balance and harmony, no matter what color you are, no matter about these names, racism, whatever you want to call it, it's not, you have to look beyond that. You have to see things be outside of the box and stop being fearful. This is the age of communication and knowledge, okay? We're coming into the age of Aquarius, and it's about awakening. A lot of Aquariuses are readers, psychics, things like that, because they already see what's going on. They've already been shown this. They've already had this in their, and not only just Aquarius, is a lot of Aquarius in their chart and things like that. But the age of Aquarius brings on back balance into the universe. But it's going to take some time. We have to warn people, okay? The star seeds are nothing but angels on heaven, and they're getting downloads. They're getting all this information, and it's coming out very quickly, especially to the younger star seeds. They're jumping right into the darkness and showing you guys these things. But the older, it's going to take a little bit more grounding, balancing, because they don't really like to be in that energy. You understand what I'm saying? But we have to take on the mature energy of it. I'm not saying better than younger, nothing like that. I'm just saying a mature energy has to be involved in this, and it's just going to take a little bit more time with the presentation of what's going on, so you don't be scared and be so, because it's nothing scary, but what it is something that you have to be aware of and act accordingly in order to bring back balance, or else, and this is not scary either, but it's just facts, you're just going to be stuck in a cycle that just keeps repeating itself over and over again. In other words, you'll put yourself in hell, and it's going to be everlasting. So what's happening in the background is these people, what they don't want you to see is going to be exposed, okay? It's going to be exposed. That's why they're putting back-to-back psyopses out there, which is psychological damage. They're psychologically damaging you, dumbing you down, making you think that these keep you in fear so you don't cross over, so you don't be a part of humanity that brings back balance into the universe. As we're rolling into the age of Aquarius, as I said, the reason why this is happening, if you read up, you can read this yourself. You don't have to go by exactly what I'm saying. You can read up on. I'm just going to give you the tip, and just the straightforward thing of what's happening. And that straightforwardness kind of scares people too, because they're like, oh man, that's just too much information. Well, if it's too much information, look it up and break it down. Read bits by bits daily, because it's out there. The information is there. We're in the age of information, okay? Knowledge, clarity. Again, in the age of Aquarius coming in, they already see the imbalance of the universe. They already see and feel people's pain and hurt. They already see and feel what's real and what's not real. They can decipher the two, which a lot of people are not doing or can't do. And it all could be starting with, childhood, the way you were raised and the way you were conditioned. Well, things are changing now. We're coming out of the Pisces age, and we're entering and ushering in the Aquarian age. I don't know what these people in the background, these people with power and control that led us to imbalance in humanity, are really going down. And you know how misery loves company? That's what they want. They need your energy in order to bring on what they want to bring on, but it's inevitable for them not to go that far. They've gone far enough, and we've allowed them to go far enough by telling us what we should be doing in this world. You've been actually brainwashed. So Aquarian age of Aquarius, they know that already. So what they're going to bring upon you is clarity and truth. They're going to bring down the curtains. It's curtain time. You guys have to be ready for this. Now with Aquarius and Saturn now, okay, that's a big deal for 3 years, around 2020, 2023 in March. It already came about March 23rd, 2020. Okay, and this transit, as Aquarius is transited into Saturn, which was the 23rd of March. It's already there. It's already transit. It's moving, okay? And all the signs are being affected by this particular transit. This is the great awakening right here for 3 years. This is time to jump on board. This is time to come out of denial, you guys. This is time to release the illusions of this world. It's time to stop listening to your enemies and feeding into your enemies' energy, because they are draining your energy with all these different type of things that they got going on. It's not real. They're trying to they're trying to keep your eyes off of the prize. The illusion that they put up, and the illusion that they taught you, and the illusion that they sent out throughout generations, they can't keep it going, because the reason why they can't keep it going is because it wasn't theirs to manipulate or even have this process being done. But sometimes we have to go to the bad in order to get to the good. So, the Most High is already done used them. They use them for their benefit, for something good to come out of it, if that makes sense. You see what I'm saying? The Most High, the Creator, needed the devil to use us in this manner. So when the Great Awakening comes, it's like you'll be so tired of being whipped down and dumbed down and going through unhappy situations, to where when the Great Awakening comes, you'll be ready for it. You'll be like, I'm going to jump on board. Some people, not all. Because you ever heard of people being addicted to pain? There are people on the earth that's addicted to pain. They're addicted to being used, abused, and that has something to do with childhood. There's nothing wrong with fixing that, getting help for that. Nothing. I've been through that myself, you know, for a long period of time, wasted most of my life until Spirit sat me down and helped me to reevaluate my life and see where I needed to go. And then where I needed to go is there. It's still a work in process, don't get me wrong, but I'm where I'm supposed to be in order to make those steps now. Excuse me, drinking my water. And I hope I'm not talking too much. I am a talker. When I do get to talking, I do have to, you know, like I said, take these energies in and just put it together. So listen, we have 3 years here to get it together. There's nothing that you guys shouldn't know by now. With all the spiritual readers here on YouTube, you know, and throughout the world are warning and telling everybody what's really going on, and they're not, there's no bars hold there. Some of it may sound scary to some of you, and some of it, you know, it is what it is. It's facing the truth now. It's everything being revealed. Now Saturn transiting into Aquarius for 3 years. It's affecting, like I said, all 12 signs. And the simple thing that I could tell you why this is happening is to stable out your life. It's all about balance. Yeah, it's going to take a while because we got a lot of people who we need on board here. And it takes a lot of us to say this for the fact that, you know, your Most High is not going to miss anybody in this transit. You all deserve love. You all deserve happiness. But a lot of people are not going to want to accept it. It's just that plain. A lot of people aren't going to accept it. And it's sad. It's going to be sad, but there's nothing that we can do about it. But the only thing we can do about it is pass what Spirit wants us to do on to others, and you take it from there. So it's just about stability, and that's in every aspect of your life. Now we're doing a lot with these relationship readings and things. I'm going to try to be a little bit more broad in and because this is about work. It's about everything that has to do with your life. It's about being a magician. It's about making things happen for you in all aspects. But a lot of people are concerned with their love life. That's what have been having the biggest manipulation ever, you know, in life. And as what we were taught and what we were seeing, it was the biggest manipulation ever. So we have to straighten out all these things, have to come back into balance to stabilize your life, to make the right choices in order to be stable. 3 years, you guys. Now I don't know what 3 years is in spiritual time, but I know what it is here in the physical. Because we have to use physical things, you know, in a good way, and we have to use it in a knowledgeable way as a guide. The physical is nothing but a guide, okay, for your spiritual world. Okay, if that makes sense, I hope it does. Leave your comments down below. Now, what we're talking about with the karmic relationship, because these relationships are coming to an end, whether people want to or not, it's going to be some detrimental things happening here. And it's not trying to scare you, but I'm just being real about it. It's going to be some detrimental things when it comes to relationships and the energies that they are in. Karmic is nothing but a low vibrational person, whether it's a male or a female. The divine feminine and the divine masculine are two people who belong together, who signed a contract together before they entered into this universe. You don't remember it because your memory banks were closed. You don't remember this stuff, and you're not supposed to, because if you remember it, life is going to be a piece of pie, and you're not going to appreciate what you have. You have to go through the bad in order to get to the good. Now the good time is coming. What are you going to do here? You know, which direction are you going to take here? That's all this is about here. You got 3 years. Like I said, I don't know what that is spiritually in the spiritual world, but in the physical world, you know what 3 years is. 2022, 2023 moving in, you know, and cut off time from there. You'll be trapped if you don't make the right moves, if you don't call the right shots. Our ancestors are saying to me that you guys had plenty of time to make this right for yourselves. You had plenty of time. They gave you an extension. Okay? There's no more extensions, you guys. Please understand, there's going to be no more extensions. Either you're going to do the right thing or you're just going to stay stagnant and stuck in an unreal reality world, which is in your subconscious mind. It's what you made up. It's what you decided you wanted. Whether it's happy or not, whether it's a good thing or not, that's what's going to be stuck in your subconscious mind. And that's what you call hell. That's hell. You create your own hell, you create your own heaven in your subconscious mind through your decisions. I hope that wasn't too scary, but it is reality. It is what it is. Okay, so let me just kind of, I'm going to be, like I said, ratting out these karmics. I had to do a lot of self-protection because these karmics are going to be attacking us for telling the truth or trying to. But now is pretty much a safe time, but we know how to protect ourselves. We're starseeds. Spirit is going to watch after us, but they are going to be doing this ridiculous stuff that they've been doing for a long time to people in general. Now, for you Aquarians, like that are starseeds, are out here helping people, you may your spiritual animal is a peacock, and you may want to. You can go to stores and you can purchase. They may be expensive. I'm not quite sure, but I saw a peacock yesterday, and that's strange. Being in a the area that I'm in, it's just like I see a lot of different type of animals. I've had a squirrel that came up and literally knocked on my door. You guys, I swear, I don't have no time for lying and just saying stuff. And like I said, and it's because it was getting me ready to give the messages that I need to give you guys. I had to go through a process for some reason, and I understood that, and I done that, and now's the time I'm going to bring it on. It's been bringing on, it's been coming in, a lot of the younger starseeds, like I said, but there's going to be a, you know, everybody has a different level of messages for different people in their cycles, whatever cycle that they're in. So some people need it come across a different way so they can understand. So that's what that's about. Okay, so to understand what a karmic is, it just in case you don't, like I said, don't just take my word for it. Do your research. You can always go online and type in what is a karmic relationship. To sum it up, a karmic relationship is someone in your life that's not good for you. If they're causing you aggravation, pain, heartache, in and out of your life, um, non-committal type things, um, and what they do in this, as they're operating in their ego and pride, they're feeding off the low vibrational things that's inside of yourself. Sometimes they're there just to teach you, most of the time they're there to teach you a lesson. Okay, it's a lesson, but you know, you have to be careful on how far you drag this thing out, because the karmic relationship will draw you in very, very deep. That means that if anything rocks the boat, which means that you can be put in a stage of denial, because you'll be so deep into it that you won't listen to the truth. And that's what's happening right now. They're giving you time to listen to the truth and face reality of all this and bring back balance and peace within inside yourself and in your life. Okay? They act this way. They will, you know, in a karmic relationship, they will draw you in so deep that anything that rocks the boat, even a minor argument, will feel like a massive issue that it'll rock your whole world. You'll be like, what? Really? You'll have like an instant connection with the other person. Like, people often talked about having a instant connection. You know, people always talk about that, having oh, it was an instant connection. Oh, it was love at first sight. Oh, it was this. Oh, it was that. But this isn't the kind you see on Love Island or Love Boat and all that. This is this is a lifetime altering, deep down in your bones, meant to be kind of spark. Okay. More often than not, people in a karmic relationships are also very attached to each other from the word go. Okay. Why you can absolutely fall head over heels for someone straight away? Love takes time to develop, you guys. Let that sink in. Love takes time to develop. It's a process. It's not instant. That's karmic when it's instant. Like, that's not real. That is an illusion. And what you're really feeling is just extreme lust. That's all it is. It's no more, no less than that. It's just extreme lust when you're in a karmic relationship. Now, I mean extreme. And it's important to know the difference, you guys. It's important to know the difference. All this lusty stuff going on around, all this, jumping from one person to another, this is karmic energy. It's low vibrational, and it will never go anywhere. And your spirit guides and your ancestors know this, and they're just going to bring balance back into the world and giving you some time. They already said you done overextended your time. They gave you an extension. You know how you would go to the IRS if you owe them money, and they're saying, okay, we're going to give you an extension, and if it's not paid for at this certain time, we're going to have to close the doors, and we're going to have to take everything. We're going to take all your possessions. We're going to take everything. That's how low vibrational operates. They could give you some time, but once the time is up, there's no more mercy. They have no more mercy because they already done told you. They've already showed you. They've given you an extension, and the time is now. Okay, the time is now. Now, when you're with a karmic, there are problems early on. Now, this goes beyond fighting about what to have for dinner. That's how deep this is. If one person is more dominant than the other, or you're constantly fighting and making up, it's possible you're in a relationship that's karmic. That's insane type of situation. This can also appear in the form of your partner being controlling. You ever been around somebody who's extremely controlling and obsessive, or just plain mean as hell? You're in a karmic relationship, y'all. You're dealing with narcissism. Now, I'm not clinically a clinical thing, and there is different levels of narcissist. There's different levels, and you can always look that up. I'm not going to get into each one of those. It'll take forever, okay? Because there's different levels of narcissism. But look it up anyway. Do your own research, and you will find out. They're similar. Some is extreme, some is not as extreme. But either or, they're narcissistic. If you're experiencing a partner where you're always got to be on your always feel like you have to be on your, like, restricted, almost like anything that come out of your mouth, they challenge it, everything. Not just one thing. There's no collaboration in the conversations. Everything, they challenging you, and they're doing this because they want control. I mean everything, not just some things. Everything. There's no balance even in a conversation with them, and if you disagree with them, they will have a temper tantrum. They will leave you making you feel like you've done something wrong. And you haven't. All you're just trying to do is have a conversation. They turn a conversation into something that's bigger than what the issue is, or bigger than what was said. That's their karmic energy. Arguing is normal, okay? Now, don't get me wrong. Arguing is normal, but a loving partner will never make you feel bad about yourself. They won't do that. They won't do that. They will argue, or there will be arguments, but you'll leave each other feeling relaxed about the situation, not something that you have to carry on and feel this, kind of feel this energy like, man, really make you feeling bad about yourself. Now, it's hard to end these type of relationships because, like I said, some people that are in pain through their childhood, if they haven't straightened that stuff out, then what they do is that they attract these karmics, and then you two are together. But it's, in a way, it's a good thing, because for some of you, just need to learn a lesson. Some of you are, it's like misery love company. If you're still miserable, it's going to be hard to break away from these karmic relationships. Very, very hard. You're going to go into overtime with this shit, even though you know you're not feeling right in this relationship, but you're in pain yourself. So all you two are doing is giving each other pain and heartache. You're feeding off of each other like vampires do. You done pulled each other in. It's not just one. There's some scenarios where one just pulling the other, and then they, they bite them, to drain them of their energy, and pull them down. As I'm telling you, it goes deep. Okay, so be careful. One or both of you might want to want out of this relationship, and yet you can't resist staying. You can't resist it. It's like, what? You know you want out. You know, but you can't. I just said it. You just can't. You're like magnets toward each other, even though you see the dysfunction in the relationship. Some of you might feel addicted to the relationship, or dependent on the other person. Like I said, pain notices pain. Some people also feel afraid of what will happen and who will they become once the relationship is over. That's the codependent shit. People afraid to be alone. People don't know who to lash. They ain't got nobody like to have that company and misery with them. So once the relationship is over, they become even more obsessive. They become stalkerish. They could become someone who is a sociopath. Like, if I can't have you, no one will. That's why you can't entertain these type of relationships for too long. They become totally, totally codependent on you, whether they showed it to you or not. Usually they don't show it to you until the relationship is over. Then you'll see another person. They are capable of hurting you. They're capable of killing you. I'm sorry. This is what Spirit is telling me. So your partner is selfish and interested in your needs, okay? They want to go out. So you do. They want to stay at home. So you do. It's almost like you're a puppet on a string to them. And they like that, okay? They like that power and control. They want you to jump up and down while holding a teacup. So you do. Okay? The last example is extreme, okay? I hope you guys sit down and buckle yourself up, because this one is a kicker. And it's the icing on the cake here. But the point is, the karmic relationship usually rely on a delicate balance of one person being self-serving and the other doing whatever they can to keep them happy. Did you hear what the hell I just said? Through Spirit's energy? Did you hear that? Let me just report myself, because like I said, this was going to be a kicker. This was something you have to sit down and kind of really pull your energies on and listen, okay? This one is very, very extreme. This is the one where somebody could be to be a sociopath, and you might not even know it. But Spirit's telling you now. The point is, that karmic relationship, your karmic relationship, whoever this is, usually rely on a delicate balance of one person's being self-serving and the other doing whatever they can to keep them happy. I'll let that sink in, you guys. If you have to keep rewinding and listen to that again until something goes bingo, got it. Because a lot of you are under this extreme karmic energy right here, and it has to be released ASA freaking P. You don't feel secure in the relationship, okay, when you're with a karmic. A healthy relationship makes you feel safe, loved, and cared for. That's simple. I'm just going to say that. I don't need to go to extreme on that. That's basically common sense how you should feel in a relationship. Now, like I said, if some of you have some childhood energies that you have to release in order to feel this way, well, now's the opportunity to do that, because Spirit is holding back these karmics. They're putting them in entrapment here within themselves. They're holding their back. They're blocking them. And when I'm done this, you guys will get your video. Okay, on the energies that's around some of you. It doesn't have to be all of you, but this energy is heavy at this time. This dark energy that's going around, it is, but it's being released. Okay, that's what's really happening in the spiritual world. Is being released. That your ancestors are fighting to get this energy off your back here, because they're tired of seeing it. They're tired of the imbalance of it all. Okay, so if you're worrying about the state of your relationship, or always concerned that it will end, and that your partner will leave you, it's a karmic. I know you guys don't want to hear it, but this is simple. I've been through it. I know, you guys. I'm not judging anybody, or putting these energy like I'm better than anybody else or like that. Spirit's just using me as a mouthpiece. Don't believe me, me. I've been through this shit. Okay? If you're worried about the state of your relationship, or always concerned that it will end and that your partner will leave you, it's a karmic. And I already explained what a karmic is. As I'm coming to an end of this presentation here, like I said, I will come back out with your reading collectively. There are those that will change your life forever, and that's a purpose. That's the purpose of some of you having a karmic relationship. Those of you that wake up and realize that this is not healthy for me or them. The reason why I'm saying or them, because if you're enabling a karmic person, as what I just said to you guys. Some of you are enabling this by staying in it for so long, and it becomes totally codependent. Whether you know this or not, they do. You can make you might create a monster, is all I'm saying. They're already a monster, but you done created this monster to depend on you totally. They're not showing you this, okay, because they're so narcissistic. But if you end a relationship, you will see this person absolutely go mad in front of your face. You might even see the eyes of a devil in their eyes. And that's your fault. Really. It is, because you were supposed to leave this a long time ago. But because of your ego and your pride, you stuck around. And you turn this person into the monster that they are, and they don't want to release. They're going to make your life a hell, even if you move on. Even if you move on, they're going to try to make your life a hell. So some of them will change your life forever. And there are those that seem incredibly important while you're in them, but, while you're with them, but once over, fade away until you can't remember why you were with this person to begin with. Perhaps you're just fuck buddies, okay? Again, we already said that in the beginning. They're just a lustful relationship. This person can come to you, male or female, like with just lustful energies, like, and you pick. That's kid stuff. That stuff we should be going through, like, and ended a long time ago when we was like teenagers. We should have caught on to this type of energy. A lot of things are just lustful, like, and a lot of And you know, a lot of people probably weren't even educated on the situation. Like, you know, you probably had parents that just tell you, like, look, you know, just said a yes or no, no explanations, no nothing. So what that made you do is made you more curious, okay? Made you more curious. You didn't understand why they were saying yes or no, which was a problem, because that should have been explained to you so you can understand, and you didn't have to go through too much or waste too much of your time going through these karmic experiences. Okay? They didn't tell you that it was just, you know, you're going to, like, say some of your mothers or your fathers may, you know, say if it's a girl or even a boy, the boys are naturally, you know, into this energy when they get a certain age. But they're not taught to control that energy. Okay, they're not taught to control it. You're not. It's not like you're not supposed to feel sexual. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that you have to learn control over your sexual energies and know who to let in your energy and know who not to, because of the simple fact you're going to end up with a karmic. It's like a lack of knowledge. That's what it is. It's a lack of knowledge of not knowing this situation. Some people were taught, and they, you know, was healthy in their relationships and picking out their, you know, who they be with. And some has gotten too doggone deep. And it's hard for them to dig themselves out. But now's the time to do it. It's all exposed. You guys, I know you're going to hit the comment. You're going to tell me that, you know, you've been exposed to a lot of things with a lot of different people, male or female. It was just the same situation. No matter whether you got somebody new, if you still had this energy within inside of you that you hadn't released, as far as negativity, low vibration, then hell, no matter who you got, it was just a different face. But you experienced the same thing. That's hell. Take yourself out of hell, okay? We were born in hell. You know, everything is reversed here. They put on this fantasy in this world like it was so perfect and beautiful, when all along you been in hell. You've been in hell. Your light purpose here is to get out of hell. That's what it is. Not to work your way to heaven. I mean, not like this is heaven. This is hell. It's to work your way out of it, so you can graduate and move on to your everlasting. That's what it all is. When you see something, turn it around, because this world is backwards. All right, we are in a backwards ass fucking hell here, y'all. You gotta understand, and you gotta realize it. But you can save yourself here. Spirit is helping you. Your ancestors are helping you to reach where you need to reach. Okay. Back to the karmic. One relationship type is the less spoken about is the karmic relationship. Okay. Like I said, some of you, it's just casual. It's just, you know, having sex, having flings. The both of you know won't last in the long run. Or maybe you're a polygamous couple where you're agreeing to this. You understand? Enjoying several romantic connections with more than just one person at a time. You understand? Peep game. Okay, that's the karmic relationship. You might never have heard the term, but the scenario is actually quite common fundamentally. It's a passionate yet inherited difficult relationship that you have to work really, really hard to maintain. I'm going to let that sink into you guys. That's a karmic. That's, you know, these are just different scenarios of a karmic relationship, okay? It's so passionate, so sexual, so self-indulging, so devilistic energy, such a low vibration, so dark, so entrapped. Because it makes you work for it over and over and over and over until you are freaking exhausted. You understand the words that are coming out of my mouth? It's exhausting. It's draining. It's low vibrational. Okay, now here are the signs, okay, other than what I just said. It makes you feel like you're on an emotional roller coaster, okay? First you're happy, then you're sad, okay? That's what it is. Does this keep happening week after week, day after day? Does that keep happening? Does that sound familiar to some of you? Well, guess what? You're in a karmic. It's your karmic. It's very fiery and exciting whenever you're together. Oh yeah, it's fire. It's on fire, honey. It's on fire. Ha! Whenever y'all together. But like a volcano, you never know when your connection will erupt and destroy everything. Karmic relationships are far too tumultuous. They're just too they're it's too much to be maintainable, because like I said, it's just going to drain the hell out of you. You're going to get to the point where you can't do nothing anymore for this type of person. But you learn from them and you move on. At least you're supposed to. And that's exactly what they're there for. Y'all don't realize that's what they're there for. That's what they're there for. And last but not least, I know this is something y'all don't want to hear either, especially if you're with a karmic and you're deep, deep in, depending on the karmic we talking about that we already mentioned. There are exceptions to every rule when you're in a relationship with a karmic. But the karmic relationships will usually end, and they will end badly, depending on how far you put yourself into this monster that you created. It was already there, all right? It was already there. But the lessons you should have learned early on to release this karmic, and if you didn't and you just kept going in and in and in and got so deep till you were just so drained and exhausted, and that you can close your heart to any other relationship that may come along that does not mean you no harm, it mean you good, and you haven't learned from this karmic, all you doing is taking in the pain and hurt that they put into this. Get help. Get help. Get help. I'll see you guys in your readings.